Philadelphia is the poorest big city in the United States. It creates an imperative to absolutely try new things in terms of how you get people able to earn more money, save more money, and ultimately contribute to their families, their economies, and of course to the employers they work for.
If we're going to progress as a region, then we've got to find a way to make opportunities available to all. And then the only way that we can do that, given the challenges that we have to meet job seekers, then we've got to have a wide range of people at the table so that we can all work together collectively in order to see this region grow and be all that it can be.
Join embodies a really unique space at the intersection of a lot of folks, quite frankly. That includes private industry, philanthropists, government, and training and education providers. I think the unique role that Join can play is serving as a neutral convener where folks with, you could say, have competing interests can come together and find common ground.
Join helped us early on, and we were able to get back business that we would not have been able to maintain. And in the long term, we were able to not just retain the jobs of those people, but add jobs.
Job training works best when it really has employers playing an active role in designing what the job training looks like.
We need them to inform not just training programs that, let's say, is funded through the Department of Labor and Industry or the Department of Labor, but about to have input into curriculum development for programs that exist in middle schools and high schools and in colleges, our community colleges.
Through these partnerships, I should say, we've found that our young people are getting the proper exposure to learn that there's a pathway to a career and other than going to college.
The industry partnership allows us to be more proactive. It's bringing people around the table with a manufacturing background. They've already been through these best practices, so being at the table, we can share that knowledge and grow from it.
The industry partnership has been crucial to PTR's success with our training initiatives. It gives us the networking to be able to be in touch with multiple trainers, new training sources that we may not have known about otherwise. Another way is through funding, getting funding to help not only cover some of our training, but it really lets us expand our training and do more with the same amount of dollars than we would if we didn't have the funding. Lastly, it gets us recognition out in the community of letting people know that PTR is there, and an individual that may not have thought that they could have a career in welding understands that there is training out there.
Investing in people, I think, is very important. So we started our first group in 2004 in July. Ironically, the first group was supposed to be 10 apprentices. After the second year, they said get 40. So management quickly realized, although they were a little hesitant going in, this investment does pay off.
When you come through the apprenticeship, they give you all the tools and all the learning necessary to fully understand every aspect of shipbuilding.
I like how everything's pretty much hands-on. There's some schoolwork, but most of it's hands-on, and I really appreciate that.
The amount of support and encouragement I've gotten to rise up through the ranks is, bar none, the best I've ever seen.
The Social Innovation Fund has provided us with the opportunity to try new things. So for instance, we have a partnership of manufacturers that we support, and what we learned was here was a space where you had a lot of small and medium-sized businesses coming together, but they didn't necessarily have the HR functions in-house that they needed to even understand what kind of training would be most useful to them. So with Social Innovation Funds, we were able to kind of bring on a human resources consultant and really work with them business by business to understand what kind of training would really support them in growing their own talent. That resulted in entry-level training investments where we really helped frontline workers advance and ultimately found that there was a tremendous return on investment to the employers themselves. We had employers that, thanks to the training, were then able to open new product lines, start trading with new kinds of businesses overseas. So even in the midst of this kind of economic recession and recovery, they were able to kind of grow their workforce and their bottom line as a result of the investments we were making.
Through that partnership, we were able to stop outsourcing and actually increase our workforce. The training that was provided through the services here have enabled us to do that.
What it's really done for us is allowed us to create a co-op and an internship program that initially started out funded with funding from Join and the National Fund, which now is totally employer supported.
I mean, without the National Fund for Workforce Solutions, we really wouldn't be where we are today. They provide access to funding through opportunities like the Social Innovation Fund, but they also provide a community of learning and a community of practice that we have absolutely kind of stolen a million great ideas from and hopefully contributed a few ourselves.
The National Fund, I think, has really prioritized the employer engagement and also the community engagement.
Connecting with the National Fund has really broadened Join's perspective with workforce development. I think when we first started, we really focused on this employer-driven model, but really connecting with our peers has, I think, opened our eyes in terms of other strategies with raising the floor, thinking about job quality, working with perhaps more young adult pipelines, apprenticeships, and again, just broadening our perspective of what is possible when we talk about connecting employers and talent.
I think where we continue to drive impact is in broadening the conversation around workforce development and job training, and really finding a way to appeal to a wide variety of funders, community partners, and employers.
More than anything, it's an investment in people. For us, we found that that's something that when you look around, you can buy equipment from a lot of different people, but you can't just go out and buy people. People have to be developed, and part of our responsibility is to do that.
I feel like the apprentices are the guys who will be running the shipyard in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Communities start to grow, crime goes down, people are working, things seem to go a lot smoother when jobs are available.
So to me, when I look at that, I say we have to be invested in it so that we can support all the families that live in Philadelphia, so that we can grow as a community, not just as an organization, not just as a company, but to grow because we're a community.